located in Kew Garden Hills, Queens. It's a pleasure, and my favorite food is kosher food. Anything that's kosher.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Juliana. I am part of the Hunger Free America team. I'm in Brooklyn. My favorite food. My favorite food is probably Japanese food. I'll say that as like a whole. And feel free, everyone, to turn your cameras on. If you're not comfortable with that, that's totally cool as well. But it's nice to be able to put a face to some of these names and get to know everyone a little bit more personally, especially, lately with social distancing and everything. I haven't made a lot of new friends, so I'm hoping we'll all be new friends after this activity.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Henry Moultrie. I'm in Bronx, New York. I'm a member of AmeriCorps Peer Corps Services. Been with them for a couple of years. My favorite food is anything that's vegetables and fruits.
I'm a big fan of vegetables too. Awesome, great, thank you. I see everyone's introducing themselves. Oliver's favorite food is ramen. We also love ramen. You guys have great taste. Great, so we're just reaching about 12 o'clock right now. I am going to give us still a couple more minutes to let some other people join our group. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Juliana. I'll be your moderator today. And please just continue to introduce yourself in the chat with your name, your pronouns, what city you are currently located in, and your favorite food. We actually take this favorite food question very seriously at Hunger Free America. On our staff page, we all have a section devoted to it. So we do take this seriously. Kaylee loves cinnamon rolls. A lot of people from San Jose, California. Pretty cool. Okay, great. And I guess while we're at it, I'd love to introduce Tatiana, who is our amazing tech today. Tatiana, can you share with us your favorite food and what city you're in?
Hi, everyone. I'm currently in Brooklyn, New York, and my favorite food, that's a really tough question. I guess I really love fruit, so I guess raspberries are my favorite food. Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to most fruits, unfortunately.
Uh,
Yeah. Bagels. Ooh, Bonnie's favorite food is bagels. Well, we live in Brooklyn, so we have to love bagels.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Everything bagels. Awesome. All right, great. We'll give it about another minute and then we can dive into today's volunteerism activity. Thank you so much for everyone joining us. And yeah, please continue to introduce yourself in the chat. I do apologize in advance if there's any loud noise from outside. We are in New York City, so.
Yep.
She likes tacos. Lots of tacos fans here.
Yeah. Can never go wrong with a good taco.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see all of our volunteers' responses and to create like a chart to just see what the most popular answers were.
Yeah.
Elk and rice. Oh, I've never had that, but that sounds delicious.
Yeah, I've never eaten elk before.
And I love pizza. Awesome. Me too. Okay, great. It's 12:03. I think we can kind of get started. Please, as you join us, you can continue to introduce yourselves. Tatiana, I think we're going to keep that slide up for a little bit. And I just wanted to note, so we are going to be recording the discussion portion of this workshop. So I just wanted to give you all notice of that. So to introduce myself, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Juliana Pereira. I am the Child Nutrition Outreach and Policy Associate with Hunger Free America, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Before we get started, we wanted to do a land acknowledgement, and it kind of self-explanatory, so I'll just get started, and if you have any questions, we can talk about it. So I'm speaking from the physical space of New York City. I would like to acknowledge the land on which I currently reside, which historically was that of the Lenape, Canarsie, Rockaway, and Wappinger indigenous peoples. We deliver a land acknowledgement to acknowledge the historical legacy of colonialism by honoring and paying respect to the land, which was taken by conquest, along with the domination of the people who inhabited the land and the imposition of white supremacy. We do it to raise greater public consciousness of Native sovereignty and cultural rights as a small step toward equitable relationship and reparation. We encourage the participants on today's call to privately acknowledge the land that sustains and supports you. If you do not already know your area's history, we've provided a link in the chat to learn more about the indigenous peoples that live or lived in your area. Tatiana, when you're sharing, can you just lock it so that it's only sharing the slideshow?
Yeah. Let's see. How do I do that?
So if you go to the bottom to share screen, you can select. So you would select Google Slides. Maybe you have to unshare and then reshare, but I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Does it pop up?
Yeah. Okay, and then.
So it should stick to just the Google Slides now.
Okay.
Okay, great. And can you share the link in the chat for participants? So if you don't already know your area's history, we've provided a link in the chat to learn more about the indigenous peoples that live or lived in your area.
I did provide the link in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if you're new to Hunger Free America, HFA is a nonpartisan national nonprofit building the movement to enact the policies and programs needed to end domestic hunger and ensure that all Americans have sufficient access to nutritious food. We do this through both our direct service and advocacy work, both of which we feel strengthen one another. As the Hunger Free America Child Nutrition Associate, my work centers around advocating for and expanding access to federal child nutrition programs, as well as school meal programs and other sources of food for children who tend to be some of our most vulnerable when it comes to food insecurity. So HFA's work to end hunger is now more pressing than ever. Tatiana, can you share that report in the link, please? The link that Tatiana is going to share is to our Hunger Free America report. It's called Access Denied, Unemployment and SNAP Benefits Application Barriers During the Pandemic. We published this last summer, and basically it is to say the United States is facing the gravest hunger crisis in modern times, with more than 1 in 3 children missing meals or suffering from reduced portion sizes because their families don't have enough money for food. The rate of child hunger is 5 times higher now than before the pandemic, and adult hunger is 2.5 times higher. As domestic hunger increases, all types of low-income families are suffering, but data is showing us that people of color are impacted at higher rates. HFA data, Hunger Free America, shows us that in the spring and summer of this year, 41.1% of Black respondent households experienced food insecurity, as did 36.9% of Hispanic respondent households, in contrast to just 23.2% of white respondent households. As a global pandemic and demands for racial justice collide, it is more important now than ever to uplift Martin Luther King Jr.'s message of justice. For over 2 decades, Hunger Free America has honored Dr. MLK Jr.'s legacy by coordinating service events and volunteer action supporting long-term solutions to hunger. With this year's Serve-a-Thon, our hope is that volunteers will learn something new, take action in the fight against hunger, as well as take away some ideas on how to continue working towards supporting a more equitable community. So as you can see on the slide, as we begin our workshop, I'd like to introduce some group norms to frame our dialogue. So, a safe space is a brave space. We are called to create a brave space where we accept the likelihood that we will be uncomfortable when investigating issues of race, privilege, and oppression and our roles within them. 2, work to recognize your privileges. Use this space to recognize and investigate your privileges. For example, class, gender, sexual orientation, ability, honor the different experiences we all bring to this space. Take risks, lean into discomfort. We are all in the process of learning. Challenge yourself to contribute, even if it is not perfectly formulated. And lastly, actively listen. Use your energy to listen to what's said before thinking about how to respond. Notice when defensiveness and denial arises. If anyone has any additional norms to add, we welcome you to add them to the chat. So today's event is titled Food Justice is Cultural Diversity. Tatiana, you can actually stop sharing. Thank you. So today's event is titled Food Justice is Cultural Diversity, Culturally Appropriate Food Assistance and the Impact of Faith on Service. To speak on these topics, I'd like to introduce Rabbi Shlomo Nisanav of Kehilat Sephardim Food Pantry, located in Queens, New York. Rabbi Shlomo, can you tell us a bit about Kehilat Food Pantry and the work that you all do there?
Sure. First of all, thank you for making this happen, the Hunger Free America. We've been operating since 1990. We started with 50 families. We are currently at over 5,000 families a month. For the year ending 2020, we passed almost 250,000 people. We have a very large kosher. We are still a client choice. Because of the pandemic, the numbers, we went over 100,000. And so now we are serving 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, Saturday being off, and Friday being a preparation day of prep. As I'm speaking today, we're also giving out food. We have people coming. That's it. I feel like a former immigrant. I came here, I was not born here. I came here in 1980 from the former Soviet Union. As an immigrant, the most troubling thing is when you have to decide before putting food on the table, paying for my rent. And, as somebody who went through it with my parents, I was 9 years old when we came here, it's very reassuring to know that, we are giving and making a difference in people's lives. I'm a people person. I speak 5 languages, and I like to make a difference. It's about leaving a legacy behind us, because everything comes and goes, and it's the best thing is to make sure that people are able to get feed their families. So we are very happy. Obviously, the 2 times a year which we get the most is before the high holidays in September, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and for Passover/Easter, when we get the most. But because of this pandemic, we've been getting a lot of people. And we are very, very fortunate that our organization is completely volunteer-based, and everybody comes And I say is born hating anybody. You are taught to hate. You smile at any child, they will smile back at you. And that is something that I want to make sure that is given over to everyone. And, our logo is of Ahavat Achim, treat others as you would like to be treated. I want people to treat me with respect. I want people to acknowledge my presence to our Kehilat food pantry. Very diverse, very very everything and anything you could possibly get.
Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
introduction. Yeah, I would love to. So I'm going to ask some questions. We'll have a little bit of a discussion before we move on to a Q&A with our volunteers, and then we'll be moving towards our activity portion. So Rabbi Shlomo, can you share with us what does Martin Luther King Jr.'s work and legacy mean to you?
Well, for what it means to me as a person who is indigenous to this population, I was not born here, and the fact that we are all a community, we are Kehilat stands for community. It's not just congregation, and the fact that we're able to come together and stand hand by hand, that's a legacy of nonviolence. Like I said, through love. You don't hate, you don't fight hate with hatred. You fight hate with love. And I feel that's his legacy. And the late Martin Luther King Jr., that's what he stood for. A community of inclusion, of not exclusion, and to remind everyone that we are all part of the human race, that there's no, we have more things in common than what divides us. And I think that's very important. And to have Christians and Jews and Muslims and everyone working together, that's a big thing. I think that's his legacy. That was his legacy. And I'm
Yeah,
very proud to continue that.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is great for my next question. How does your faith personally inform your work?
Well, our faith is, of tikkun olam, making the world a better place. I came here, and I want to make sure, as was things done for me, it should be better for everyone else, and that is, I think, it's very important to make sure that we share. Not everybody has an opportunity to have and give, and we have that opportunity, thank God. That's what Judaism is all about, of taking care of our, brotherly love. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, and to do things for others as you would like things to be done for you. That's very, very important for our community. That's very important as for the greater Jewish Bukharian community, because we've been always the people about taking care of others, taking care of each other, because together we are one. That's what makes us great.
Yeah, as a child of immigrant parents, I've seen, the struggle they've had to go through as well to make it in this country. And so that type of support is more important than ever. You referred to the fact that you were an immigrant. How has your immigration to this country impacted how you serve others?
It's greatly, it takes one to know one. It's something. As I grew up, as my parents worked very late, and there was it's difficult. There was a time where is it we're going to get something extra to eat, or is it are we going to try to pay the rent, try to pay the expenses? That influenced a lot, and majority of the people that come are immigrants, people who don't speak the language. Thank God we have over 25 languages spoken at our food pantry, because not everyone speaks English, and not everyone had the opportunity to go to school. Like I did, that my parents gave me that opportunity, and to go to yeshiva private school. And it's very, very difficult. Kosher to begin with it's more money, it costs more. And there's a limit. So not only do we serve the greater Jewish community, people who are halal, we have a very large selection of fresh produce. And because of the way our setup is, everything is outdoors. So even just to give an example, at the height of the pandemic, we were the only kosher food pantry open because everyone else was, they were shutting down buildings left, right, and center. And we were essential workers and we were giving everything from. It made a big difference. And I think that my immigrant background reminds people that, it's not enough about trying to make myself here, and I have to acculturate myself to a new system, a new way of life.
Mm-hmm. And so you refer to, the importance of having availability of kosher meals, of halal foods. What does culturally appropriate food assistance mean to you?
Hello?
Yes?
Has everybody got it? Everything? Did I said everything?
Yes, we heard you. I think you might have cut
Thank
out.
you.
I had a next question for you. You spoke about, the importance of having kosher meal options, halal options. What does that culturally appropriate food assistance mean to you?
That means a lot. Somebody who has a limited dietary laws, you just cannot take everything and anything under the sun. Like I always tell people, it's not a seafood diet. Like I see the food, I eat it. It's difficult. We gotta make sure that it meets certain dietary law requirements. Like it's not no meat and dairy. Make sure there's no non-kosher ingredients. That's very important to have that. It's something that otherwise I'm going to have to choose again. Why should buy me limited because of my background? Do I eat
Exactly.
or I don't eat? Do I
Exactly.
keep my faith or do I don't keep my faith?
People
That's
don't
very
deserve
small.
to sacrifice their dignity in order to receive assistance. Great. Well, so thank you so much for, having this brief discussion with me. It was really insightful to hear about your own experiences and values. Kind of opening it up a little bit, what actions can participants of today's calls take to best support your mission at Kehilat? Uh-oh.
Well, number one, we are always looking for diverse volunteers. We would love them to come down and help us in any way or fashion possible. Number two, thank God we are running out of people before we run out of food. We have a lot of food. The fact that we are open now 5 days a week compared to 3 days a week, that gives an opportunity to come and get food. And number three, if anybody has food, you would be surprised how much food is thrown out annually, daily, on a daily basis, where I don't need it. If you don't need it, let someone else. Let someone else. It's in good things. I mean, we started as a food rescue. And a lot of people don't understand. That means literally we rescued food. We went from restaurants to bakeries on a Friday, all the leftover bread, the challah that was not able to be sold before the Sabbath. We used to pick it up and bring it and give it out. And it's a win-win situation. The bakery loves it because instead of dumping all that bread, now they save you money instead of dumping it. And all the other people, they come in, they get bread for free. There's a lot of things, and now we branched out to clothes drive. People have clothes. If we're giving out food, we might as well give out clothes also.
Yes.
A lot of things, and to mention, and money. And last but not least, money always is good. We need to fund waiting for someone to tell me how we could survive on air. But we have not. Even though we're 501c3, we still have to pay for Con Edison and electrical bills and provide as much as we can for our volunteers. The weather is changing. We got a tent. We're trying to enclose the outdoors to make it allowed in the indoor dining or outdoor dining enclosed with heaters and things. Anything and everything helps. We do not discriminate when it comes to getting things. And we don't discriminate giving out also.
That's great to hear. I think a big theme that you touch on a lot is like sharing of resources. And I think we really have to start having a bit more community minded than individual minded. And that's what volunteerism is about. It's about really stepping into that role and becoming a part of your community. Well, thank you so much. That was wonderful. I wanted to open up the floor now to some questions for our group here. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please let us know. You can type it in the chat, or you can also raise your hand and Tatiana can call on you. So we have about 10 minutes or so to ask questions, if anything about the organization that you'd like to hear, or about any of Rabbi Shlomo's comments.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I just want to add on something. You know, my father taught me many, many years ago. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's all about networking. I could be the smartest person in the world, but if I don't have the right connections, it doesn't do anything for me. So it's all about networking, and beggars can't be choosers. Certain people feel like, oh, I could only come for 1 hour. I only could come once a week, once a month. I said, listen, anything and everything helps. And, you know, the worst answer is no. You know, it's not going to get worse than no. You could always ask it. We always ask around, and we always let people have that, you know, contrary to what I look like. I'm not a mind reader. So I always ask for others, and I like to, it's very important. And that's what we like to do, communication and networking. That's a very, very big thing. And that's why I'm part of it today. This is one of my things about networking, and you never know. You know, one leads to another, and before you know it, we have a whole network of people working together. And
That's true, Rabbi. We all like to encourage too, especially since so much is virtual nowadays. You really can, a little contribution can go such a long way, just an hour of your time. We actually have a question about volunteerism. Rabbi, is there an application that you fill out to volunteer with your organization?
Yes, we have it on our website. It's volunteering. It's on the website. You could do it, Kehilat Pantry.org. We do virtually. Please share, you know, all the 75 people, I don't know how many people we have. We have 108 participants. So please, I ask everyone, share with everyone, tell everyone. We are open to everyone. It's very easy to apply as long as you are alive. And you don't, obviously, people like have this reluctance, so I want to pick up for myself. Okay, you're right. You don't need anything. You're picking up for your wife and your kids and everyone else, your neighbors. Don't worry about it. You know, we encourage people to pick up. So virtually, you could go on our food and our website, kehilatpantry.org. There's a lot of opportunities with Twitter, social media, and to tell everyone all the different social media platforms what we are advertising.
Yes, sharing on social media can be super effective. Rabbi, we have a couple questions. You're located in Kew Gardens, right? In Queens?
Kew Garden Hills.
Kew Garden Hills in Queens.
Right, so in Queens. So we are on the border of 4 different zip codes. We are the last zip code in 11367, 11366, 11435. We're very accessible, mass transportation, ample parking. Again, and the best part is we're open 5 days a week. So any day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, to pick up food and to volunteer 6 days a week. Friday, we're getting ready for Sunday. Our biggest distribution day is Sunday. Sunday, we're open 10 to 4, and that's where we get the most people and the most volunteers.
Excellent. And where do you get most